On today's agenda, we will be discussing action potentials. An action potential always occurs in the axon hillock. You begin at resting membrane potential, which is at -70. The threshold has to go above -55 for the voltage-gated sodium channel to open, and when it does, sodium will flood into the cell, which is adding more positive charge inside the cell where it is negative, which will quickly depolarize the cell, causing it to hit 0 and beyond to about +30. At a +30 charge, the sodium channels close tightly. The sodium channel is a time lock and closes tightly to prevent the action potential from going backwards. As sodium channels close, potassium channels open and potassium rushes out of the cell. Potassium is positively charged, which causes the membrane to first polarize and then hypopolarize, dropping below the threshold of -70. Balance is then restored with the sodium-potassium ATPase, and it normalizes. After it normalizes, an action potential can be found again. Once an action potential has began, a second action potential cannot be triggered, no matter how large the stimulus. This is referred to as the absolute refractory period. It represents the time required for Na plus channels to reset. Because of the absolute refractory period, a second action potential cannot occur before the first is finished. As a result, action potentials cannot overlap or travel backwards. A neurotransmitter is released by the depolarization of a neuron when an action potential travels down the neuron and reaches the axon terminal. Depolarization causes voltage-gated ion channels to allow calcium into the cell, triggering exocytosis of the synaptic vessel, and the neurotransmitter will travel across the synaptic cleft and bind with receptors on the postsynaptic cell, leading to a response.